Guys, Bitcoin is still consolidating. We have lost the level of 33,000, but we haven't really seen a breakout. In today's video, guys, I want to discuss two on-chain metrics that are pointing towards a big rally in the Bitcoin price in the not so distant future. So guys, all about that in today's video. With that being said, my name is Jeroen. Welcome to the Blockchain Today, the channel where you subscribe for daily crypto videos. And guys, let's dive right into it. And yeah, first of all, let's have a quick recap on what is happening with the Bitcoin price. Bitcoin is still consolidating within this sideways range, and we haven't seen a clear breakout out of the relative strength index structure we have been talking about yesterday. This is going to be a massive breakout very, very soon in the Bitcoin price. Most likely it will happen in the coming days. We haven't seen it so far. So yesterday Bitcoin lost, had some bearish price action, but we are still above the uptrending support in the relative strength index. So that means that Bitcoin is still consolidating. We haven't seen a breakout yet, and it also means that Bitcoin is not confirmed bearish yet, and that we are still can rally from here. And I'm still from the opinion, guys, I still think that this is the more likely scenario, and I want to bring up two metrics in today's video which can confirm or which would strengthen that certain scenario. So let's start with the first metric. The first metric, guys, is the negative funding rates. I know I have been talking so much about the negative funding rates, but if we just look at the negative funding rates on derivative exchanges, then we can see that over a certain amount of time, if we are seeing negative funding rates, that can cause a rally in the Bitcoin price. And we actually never seen the opposite. We haven't really seen a long period of time and then Bitcoin making a structured move to the downside. So a longer period of time with negative funding rates, which means the majority is short, and Bitcoin eventually making a structured big move to the downside, a continuation of the downtrend, right? So if that were to happen, I think it would be more likely for the sentiment to first turn bullish in order to get more sellers, and for Bitcoin to be able to lose these support levels and to drop lower. So I think right now the sentiment is still, when we have a look at the funding rates, and I will insert an image right in the video, guys, you can see exactly the last time we had this long negative funding rates over a period of time. That was in March 2020, and you know what happened in March 2020? We had this, actually we just started the rally of the major bull market we have seen so far in the price of Bitcoin, which drove Bitcoin to $65,000. It started with a bearish sentiment, it started with a long-term negative funding rates, and something similar is that we are seeing that right now as well. And that doesn't mean that we are going to rally from tomorrow, although it is possible if Bitcoin is going to see a breakout. However, it does mean that in the macro perspective, in the midterm perspective, Bitcoin most likely tends to trend upwards from here until we are seeing a peak in the amount of positive funding rates, which means that the sentiment has been flipping overly bullish and that there are more sellers than buyers left, which can cause the price is coming down. Then guys, we have another metric, and this metric has been shared by Willy Woo. I will insert an image right here in the video, and this is a very interesting metric because it's showing that the exchange outflow is actually quite interesting, that the Bitcoins right now on exchanges, they are getting pulled out. So there are a lot of entities right now, they are scooping up the Bitcoin supply, and this is also something which we are seeing normally before Bitcoin is starting to rally. We are seeing a certain supply shock, which means that the supply of Bitcoin on exchanges is decreasing, is getting into strong hands, right? And those strong hands, those are the fundamental base for the next rally in the Bitcoin price, because after all the Bitcoins are being taken out, or like a big part of the available Bitcoins are being taken out of the exchanges and pulled into strong hands who are not willing to sell Bitcoin in the short term, who are willing to hold Bitcoin for a longer period of time. That supply shock will eventually be expressed in the Bitcoin price. So we are going to get a turning point at some point where we can see that the Bitcoins on exchanges are decreasing, but the amount of buyers are slightly increasing, and that will cause that the price will turn around, and that will be most likely the start of the next rally that we are going to see in the Bitcoin price. And that is quite interesting because right now we are seeing a nice divergence in the amount of Bitcoins going into strong hands. And if we have a look at the Bitcoin price, right, the Bitcoin price is going down while the Bitcoins that is moving into strong hands is actually increasing. That is a bullish sign. That is a fundamentally bullish sign, guys, and can definitely cause Bitcoin to rally up from here. However, these signals that I'm presenting in today's video, these fundamental metrics that are showing that there is a big possibility that in the not so distant future Bitcoin is going to rally. You do have to take in mind that these are not directly very short-term indicators. So this is not an indicator which will predict the price of Bitcoin today or tomorrow, but it will it can help predict the price of Bitcoin in the midterm future. And these are exactly, guys, the reasons why I think most likely Bitcoin will trend up from here in the midterm perspective. And this is also what we normally want to see when Bitcoin is preparing for a rally. We want to see a bearish sentiment, we want to see negative funding rates, we want to see that the majority of the traders are short out there, and we want to see that whales and institutions, smart money, is scooping out the Bitcoin correction and is taking out supply from the exchanges, which means that eventually we will get that supply shock, and that can be the start of the next Bitcoin rally. So guys, I think that is most likely. Of course, if we have a look at the short-term time frame of Bitcoin, we are still consolidating. I expect that volatility is coming back in Bitcoin very in the not so distant future. In the very short-term time frame, we are going to see volatility coming back to Bitcoin. Most likely we are going to see a major breakout that will align with the breakout that we are going to see in the relative strength index. We are getting squeezed right now between an uptrending support and declining resistance. And yeah, like I said in my previous videos as well, guys, that declining resistance is from the beginning of this year, has been created since the beginning of this year. If we were to break above that, I think that can definitely cause a nice move to the upside for Bitcoin, and it might even cause that Bitcoin is going to leave the sideways range that we are in right now. However, we have to be cautious, of course, as well. We have to be prepared for both scenarios. If we were to break out to the downside, things could get ugly for Bitcoin. However, the fundamental charts right now and the fundamental metrics, they are definitely pointing that most likely in the not so distant future we are going to trend upwards from here. And that is exactly the reason why I think Bitcoin is going to break out to the upside, at least that the chances are more likely that Bitcoin is going to break out to the upside, and that if you are shorting Bitcoin, you have to be very careful here. Guys, that's what I think what right now is going on with the price of Bitcoin. Let me know what you think is going to happen with the price of Bitcoin. Let me know in the comment section down below, guys. And I'm very curious what you guys think about the metrics that I'm just have been presenting to you, and what you think about the price of Bitcoin in general. Do you think that we are going to trend downwards from here? Do you think that we are still going to see lower levels and going to hit that perfect entry? Or are we going to see Bitcoin in the not so distant future take off from here and start the next rally? Guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Then guys, that was it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed today's update. Guys, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to scroll below this video, hit the thumbs up button. That is very much appreciated. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so you get notified whenever I upload a new video. Guys, I want to wish every single one of you an awesome day today, and I will see every single one of you in the next video.